What's going on? What's going on, team? Welcome back to another week. My name is Xander here with Fates of Trading Academy, and this week we're going to be taking a quick peek at what we have as opportunities that are being presented for this week. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the first one that we wanted to take a look at was going to be SKLZ. This is skills. So this one we've seen a massive pullback. We hit highs of 46, and then we ended up pulling back all the way down to 24.74 actually. And if we're taking a peek at the MACD and the RSI, we're starting to we have plenty of room for the upside on this one. We're also at this critical volume level on the volume profile, along with, we found that support from back in the beginning of March. We're at that same support here. So on this one, what I'm really doing is I'm waiting for the break of the EMA. And at that point, that's going to be a better entry point for me. As of right now, I'm just keeping an eye on this one. I do see a potential reversal for this, and we have seen an increase in volume as of late. So definitely one I'm paying attention to. From current price point to previous highs, we're looking at about 41% profit potential. So definitely one to keep an eye on. The next one that I'm taking a look at is going to be XOM. This is ExxonMobil. Similar with, what we've seen before, we saw a pullback, just like we saw back in January, and then at the end of December. So basically, ever since November, we've been trading above this SMA line, and patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't necessarily have to, and every time we've seen this pull back to the SMA line, we've seen it get a bounce, and then make another higher highs, bounce, higher highs, and now we're making it, we're approaching this SMA line once again. So I am expecting this to bounce. It doesn't have to, but that's what I'm waiting for. So once again, similar with SKLZ, I'm waiting for that to break the EMA line right here at approximately 56.95. And the MACD is also indicating potential signs of a reversal. The RSI is definitely oversold. So from current price points to previous highs, we're looking at about 10%. This is a strong company that I'm definitely interested in. And, if this continues the pattern that we've been seeing for ever since, November, then definitely one that I want to jump into if we start, seeing signs of a reversal. The next one that I'm taking a look at is Apple, so AAPL. This one we've seen a nice pullback here, and then we did end up seeing, strong price action today. We ended up pushing up above the EMA line, and we were looking at this one since, over the weekend, and so we did see this pullback happen on the MACD. We do have plenty of room to still run on the RSI. What I'm really looking at here, this is more of a longer term play. We've seen this shoulder, this head, and then this shoulder once again. This looks almost a bit like a whole head and shoulder pattern. And so if we're looking from current price points to previous highs of 145 and that resistance level, we're looking at about 18.15%. So that's not too bad. Once again, it's Apple, so it's not a company you should be worried about investing in unless there's really bad news. However, as the market has been pulling back, I'm looking at this as a great opportunity to potentially jump in once we see more confirmation. The next level that I'd be watching is this 126 level. This is a resistance point. This also is where the SMA line is. So definitely want this to break above the SMA line and break above this resistance point, this resistance level. Once we see that, I see this to potentially make higher highs. However, this one did push up today, so just take a note of that. We have seen some great price action happening today. The next one that I was taking a look at, and I think you guys should take a look at as well, is SQ. This one is Square. This one didn't end up breaking above the EMA just yet on Monday. So we still have, in my opinion, room to wait for this to break the EMA. And the MACD is also indicating a potential reversal here. So definitely keeping an eye on this one. From current price points to previous highs, we're looking at about, 18-20%. to recent highs, we're looking at about 11%. So both are very good profit potentials. So once again, this one's similar to Apple. I'm looking at this one more of a long term. So I'm trying to get the best possible deal. Once again, this also, you know, shows a bit of a head and shoulder pattern. We've got the shoulder here, we've got the head coming down, we've got the shoulder here forming. We'll see if this reverses, then this starts to become an inverse head and shoulder pattern. And this is definitely one that I'd be paying attention to. So the next one we're going to take a quick look at is Tesla. This one also, I believe, had an inverse head and shoulder pattern. We ended up having the shoulder here, the head here, the shoulder here. And so from current price points to previous highs of 900, we're looking at about 22%. Taking a look at the MACD, we are looking like we are potentially breaking above into a reversal. We do have some room to run on the RSI, and we are holding this level on the volume profile. So as long as we're holding above this EMA, this is definitely one I would be jumping into. I mean, this is a fairly discounted price of 669 compared to 900 that I was at. So definitely pay attention to the fundamentals of what's happening. I see this more of a longer play. However, I don't want to jump in too early, so we are waiting for this to show some confirmation on the EMA before jumping into this. And even if we get in at the SMA to previous highs, that's about 17%, which isn't bad. So that's what I'm watching on Tesla. A1, this one is definitely one I'm very interested in. We had a pullback here, nice push up to previous resistance levels, and then we had a push back down to the SMA. We did break above the EMA here on Monday. So if we hold this tomorrow, definitely one I'm interested in paying attention to, potentially jumping into this one. And from current price points to recent highs, we're looking at about 9%. To all-time highs, we're looking at about 16%. This one, I feel like it might have quite a bit of potential long-term. So this is why I'm paying attention to this one. Once again, MACD is looking good, and it's looking like it's jumping into a reversal pattern. So that's why I'm watching this as well. RSI, plenty of room. We're just at 53, so we have a lot of room to run. AFI, the next one that I was looking at. We're still pulling back on this one. This one was a bit, I guess, it's not presenting an immediate opportunity, but definitely one I'm interested in paying attention to. If we're looking at, historic patterns, let's take a look at the daily. We have been holding fairly well above this SMA line. We are pulling back. We did just break below this EMA line on the daily. However, we are watching this volume profile level. And if we do hold this level, checking the 4-hour, we are approaching this SMA line here. So, which would be that same level. If we're holding this same level and we end up bouncing on here, this is one to pay attention to. We're looking at about 31% back to 696. However, this one be very fundamental focused, because this is really what's going to be driving the price action on this one. The next one that I'm taking a look at is PLTR. This one had a significant pullback from 45 all the way down to the support level that we've seen since basically November. And we're still pretty much at this same level. Once again, very significant level. We're taking a look at the volume profile, that's showing us the same thing as well. So I'm really watching this to hold above 22.92. And if it does hold and consolidates, I can potentially see a break to the upside. However, time will tell on this one. For now, you're not really missing out on much. Just one to pay attention to, because from current price points to previous recent highs is 38%, previous highs, all-time highs is 45%. This one has quite a bit of profit potential, but as of right now, you're not really missing out on much just because it's consolidating. So once we do see, confirmation of an upside trend, that's probably when we're going to want to jump into it, and that's really why we're paying attention to this EMA line. We are hugging it right now, but nothing too crazy just yet. We do potentially see, indications of a reversal here on the MACD. So, probably this week we can see if we do have some potential into jumping into this. The next one is CHGG. Had a nice pullback on Chegg. We have been starting to see a reversal coming off of, the 77 level or 80 level. Saw a nice bounce here. And we're potentially we are approaching this SMA, so we're potentially going to break this SMA. If we do break this SMA, I can see it returning back to 115. But as of right now, you really have to pay attention to MACD here, make sure it doesn't reverse. If it does reverse, we're probably coming back down to at least, 87, if not back to previous lows, which was 81. So definitely one to pay attention to. It does have some significant profit potential. We got about 20% here. So definitely one to pay attention to for sure. The next one is Z for Zillow. This one had a fairly healthy pullback from 208 all the way down to 125. We approached this SMA, got rejected by the SMA, came back down to previous supports, which was 125-ish area. And now we're starting to make, our way up towards this EMA line. If we do end up breaking this, the next level I'd be watching is 155. If we break 155, I'd probably be watching 169. And then after 169, I'd probably be watching around 208. Between 188 to 208 is what I'd be watching. Just looking at the MACD, I'm sensing a reversal on its way. This could be a double bottom. We'll see what happens in this week. If we do break above this EMA and have confirmation, but holding above the EMA, then it's definitely a great one to jump into. The profit potential here from current price to previous highs is about 32%, which isn't too bad. Definitely a very intriguing one to keep an eye on. And the next one is NNOX. This one's seen massive pullback happening. We pulled back about 60% to the latest lows. We currently just broke above this resistance level, and we are consolidating. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this. If we do hold above this resistance level, which is now a support level, then we might potentially be making higher highs if we do end up breaking this SMA level. The profit potential, from current price points to previous highs, we're looking at about 98%. That is pretty massive. 45 to the latest highs, and then wait, that was not 90. That was probably measuring the wrong thing. So latest highs, we're looking at about 44%, and then all-time highs, we're looking at about 49%. So I mean, not 98, guys. Sorry about that, but definitely still fairly significant. So one to definitely be paying attention to. Once again, I'd be looking at the fundamentals on this one to kind of see and where the price action is going. But definitely this pullback has presented a fairly great opportunity, and we have been holding above this SMA line for some time now, since pretty much September. And so this dip below it, in my opinion, is presenting a fairly interesting opportunity to take a look at and pay attention to. Just a couple more. AFRM. This one, firm. I believe we looked at this one last week when we did have that pullback. We are still, making lower lows. We did break above the EMA just today on Monday, so we'll see how this one goes. Definitely plenty of room to run. And from current price point to previous highs, looking about 42%. That's fairly significant. Affirm is, if you guys take a look at it and read up a bit on it, you guys will be able to see that, it's an up and coming payment processing kind of company, and it's really gaining some traction. So definitely an interesting company to be paying attention to, especially with this massive pullback that took place, and the profit potential that we're looking at, with the 42% profit potential, that's fairly significant. And if it does bounce right back up, which, is very possible, we are holding on this significant volume level if we're taking a look at the volume profile. And then we have significant volume up in, the 108, 107 area. So if this makes its way back up to, probably this level around here to about 102, which is about 25%, I would not be surprised. And then I would expect quite a bit of support here at that level, just because we usually have quite a bit of volume at that level. And the last one is going to be ARKK. This one's similar to Tesla. You know, we're looking at a bit of a head and shoulder pattern. We've got, you know, the shoulder here, the head bounced off this 107 level, and then we ended up running back up. Now we're forming this shoulder once again. We did end up breaking above this EMA line today. We'll see if this holds above this EMA line. I can definitely expect to see, you know, at least, you know, another 7%, possibly up until 137, if not higher, back to previous highs of 159, which would be about 20%. And this is not a bad, you know, ETF to jump into. So with that being said, guys, that's the opportunities that I'm watching for this week. If you guys found any value in this video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button, comment what you guys are watching. And if you guys enjoy this kind of content, make sure you guys are subscribed. We do this every single week, and we post up all the opportunities that we find interesting and fairly significant to pay attention to. Make sure to add these to your watch list, and good luck this week, guys. See you guys next week.